Okay, with testing in mind, let's learn about assert statements. So if you want to actually implement your tests in code, it's handy to have some way of checking if something is true and raising an error or raising an exception, throwing an exception if it isn't what you expect. And so Python has a built-in special keyword for this called assert. And this special keyword, we use this assert statement by having the special keyword at the beginning, then a space, then a condition, which is any expression that evaluates to true or false, and then a comma, after which we have an error message that will be printed to the screen if the condition is false. So if the condition is false, we raise an exception. In fact, it is called an assert exception. I think an assertion exception. And this error message is printed to the screen along with the exception. And the program is stopped. So let's take a look at how we'd actually use this. So if we have some code like this, assert, and then an expression here, 2 + 2 = 4. So here, this is an expression where the operator is equal, and the operands are on one side 4, and on the left side, it's 2 + 2, which itself is an expression that evaluates to 4. So 2 + 2 = 4 evaluates to true, and so when this runs, nothing happens. The condition is true, so our code keeps going. But on the other hand, what if we had assert 3 + 3 = 8? Well, 3 + 3 is 6, and so 6 is not equal to 8. So this expression on the left evaluates to false. And so if we run this code, our program will actually stop immediately wherever this assert line is, and it'll print out that there's an assertion error, and the error message here is condition was incorrect, because that's what I put as my error message up here. You can go back over here, just show you some more examples. The most common way of using this is if you're writing a test, let's say apps turn -x. So now you can test your code or write some tests for your code using assert statements by writing assert the absolute value of -10 is equal to 10. And if we just run this, nothing gets printed because our tests passed successfully. So our code ran successfully. But as you saw from the earlier lectures, for assert, we should check all of the possible numbers. So assert that absolute 0, or all the possible cases, right? We can't check all the possible numbers because there's infinitely many numbers, but we can probably assume that if our function works for -10, it'll work for -9 or -15. We want to try the different cases. So one edge case here is 0. Finally, and if we run this code, we can see what happens. This still passes, so our function works because -0, 0. But maybe you already caught on to what my bug here is. Let's try a positive number, like 15. The absolute value of 15 should be 15. But when I run my code, I'll get an error. So assert that abs15 = 15. It prints out assertion error expected to get 15. And so that tells you can go back and look at line 8. abs15 returns something other than 15. And there are handy frameworks or modules that let you build more complicated assertions that will tell you what the actual number was. It'll say, oh, the number was -15, but I was expecting 15. I'm not going to have time to talk about them in this class, but the one that's most commonly used in industry is called unit test. And using this unit test module, you can write assert statements that will print out what the actual thing that was returned was. So it's more easy to track down your bug.